Welcome back, Tarot Maniacs. This is video two for Tuesday. We're talking about President Macron and his lovely First Lady, Brigitte Macron, and the kerfuffle they had on the plane in Vietnam. I will be right back. Welcome back, Tarot Maniacs, Tarot fam, all you guys. Welcome. We're going to be talking about President Macron in this one. If you didn't see it, I did part one on First Lady Macron, and there was an incident where she pushed his face on a plane, and it was caught on video. So we're going to be using the Animal Guides Tarot in this one. It is not my favorite deck, only because it does have the cheats on the bottom. We're going to be using it in just upright. So people that made the Animal Guides Tarot, please make it without the cheats on it so I can look at those big, bright, beautiful pictures. We're also, if you stick around to the end, we're going to be talking about another medicine card. This is Fox. This whole week is going to be animal themed. So stick around. I will see you in a minute on that one at the end. We also have the Animal Elders Oracle. We might pull something out for him, but let's pull up that card view. Hit the like before we go there, and let's get crack-a-lackin'. The second video, it's always easier for me to jump right into the reading. So this really is like a he said, she said. So what was President Macron's emotional state just before stepping off the plane? We asked the same question about First Lady Macron. It was very interesting what we got in that. Go pop on over to video one if you haven't watched it yet. What was President Macron's emotional state before stepping off the plane? Five of Wands. That is a fight, guys. That's a fight. It's characterized by the ram. Rams are butting heads. There were some butting heads there. I hate to say it. What was the causation? Again, we're going to do these in the upright. The Empress. The Empress is soft power in the tarot. She whispers. The Emperor commands. So is this a case of that her whispers were not working? Let's check it out. We've got Tortoise, Four of Cups, Four of Water, Ace of Water, and Five of Earth. So I do think that she was not being heard. I think there was some attention grab in that moment, and I think she just was not being heard, which is interesting. Now, if you go back to video one, I do examine the power dynamic between them, and it does seem that she has more of the upper hand, more of the directive position in that particular relationship. It looks like I hate to say she wears the pants in the family because I don't want to start a whole thing, but it looks like she wears the pants in the family, and it looks like she was not being heard in that moment. Why was she not being heard in that moment? Why was she not being heard? Seven of Pentacles and the coup, or the cow, if you're not in the United Kingdom, or not in Scotland. Seven of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles. Again, more Pentacles, and the Eight of Cups. I do think he was ignoring something that she wanted to do. Is this a professional endeavor that she wanted to do? Yes, it was something she wanted to do politically, professionally in that moment. This Eight of water is very curious, guys. Very curious. Eight of cups is walking away from something that is meh, possibly walking into a mountain range. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. In this particular deck, because the kangaroo is there, we have a couple of things that affect this. It is toughness plus concealment, because we have the pouch. You have to remember that. The animal is going to affect it. The Knight of the Knight of Earth here, the Knight of Pentacles, is a seahorse. The males carry the babies in seahorses. They are often the softer of the union, let's put it that way. So it's very interesting. There was something that she wanted him to do that was undone, and he is just about done with it. I don't think we're going to get a divorce, but I think he is pretty upset. What was his instant internal reaction when Brigitte touched his face? What was he feeling on the inside? I know what his face looked like, but let's see what the cards say. Remember, we're going to read these in the upright. Knight of Fire. He was mad. He was mad. Despite that being a dolphin, he was angry. And what did he want to do? Just get to work. Just get to work. Humiliation. This is humiliation. This is my job. And you just brought our underwear out on the clothesline. Like, that's what you put our problems on the front porch. So what do they say down south? They say you put crazy, don't put your crazy out on the front porch, or you put your crazy out on the front porch. Sometimes that's a benefit for all. How conscious was President Macron of the cameras and the Vietnamese dignitary watching? How conscious was he of that? Two of water, two of cups, five of fire. The Empress and four of water. He was very conscious of being seen as weak and being pushed around. And he really did not have any recourse in this moment. Really terrible for him. Really terrible for him. So good for him that he showed some restraint. Was his clenched jaw and tense hands a deliberate effort to restrain his response? Let's do one card. Three of Swords. This is Three of Swords, guys. He was pretty crushed, even though this deck in particular gives some softness and further dimension into the Three of Swords, which is the worst card in the deck. He was absolutely crushed in that moment. He was not happy about it. It really was probably a bottom moment for him. Is he constantly self-monitoring himself with her in public? Is there a constant self-monitoring with his wife in public? And I just threw my cards all over the place, guys. Just bear with. Here, I am shuffling them on screen, lest I be accused of being fraudulent or setting things up. Is President Macron constantly monitoring himself? Three of Wands. Six of Cups. Yes, constantly looking back. Eight of Cups here. So this Six of Water, Six of Cups, we're constantly looking back at the other players. Three of Fire, that's Three of Wands. We're constantly looking back to make sure that we are doing the right thing. This is nostalgia, looking back at other people. It doesn't have to be looking back 20 years. It can be looking back 5 minutes. The Three of Wands, the Ellen Cannon Reed deck has a very interesting depiction on there. And I love decks that go this way. With the Three of Wands, we have the Mother, the Maiden, and the Crone. It is the culmination of all of those experiences and bringing them into one moment where we distill and materialize the sum of those parts, if that makes sense. So, you could be an older person in your life on your deathbed, anything like that, and you're taking the young person that you were learning, the midlife person that you were experiencing, and then the elder as you reflect back on that, and you distill that, combine it, and turn into something different. That is transformation into the next life. It can be transformation into a next marriage, a next job situation. You don't necessarily have to be 80 years old when you do this. You can do this over segments of your life. And I do think that he is trying to reconcile all of those parts. He is trying to make all of the parts that are moving very happy in this situation. It doesn't have to be just one person. It can be several people. We can have 3 different parties that are in there. Remember, when we're talking about the numbered cards, Ace, 2, and 3 are all in the ethereal. We are thinking about it. We are not yet building physical things. It is only when we get to the 4s that we're starting to build physical and actualized situations and things. So moving on, this 8 of water, looking back, this is, I'm kind of tired of the situation. I'm going to turn away. Now that we've got the 8 of water, 8 of cups twice, I'm very curious about the state of things for the Macrons. Maybe this is a moment that says, hey, this is not sustainable anymore because our skeletons are leaking out into public. Very, very, very curious. So, is Macron experiencing a personal or political pressure because of this? Let's look. I think it's going to be both, but let's see what we get. We'll do personal here. We'll do professional here. Personal, Ace of water. They're going to try to kind of reignite this situation personally and absolutely in the PR realm. They're going to try and reactivate and make it look like this is, Romeo and Juliet. We're happy together. Not Romeo and Juliet. That's a bad one. Can't say Nicholas and Alexandra. Can't say Bonnie and Clyde. They want to reignite and just show, hey, we are above the fray. We are very happy together. They're going to try and show that PR wise. We already looked at that. The King of Earth here, he is going to reassert himself as a world politician. He is just, and again, I do think that they're going to separate a little bit. We'll see them in a little bit, but she's going to be busy doing her own thing. He's going to be busy being, the president of France. And then we'll see them in more casual professional or casual personal situations, eating at a cafe, going out to dinner. We'll hear PR drops about them meeting with so-and-so and having a lovely cup of tea. All of those things. This is a big one. What is Macron's private attitude toward his wife's behavior in the moment? How is he feeling behind closed doors? What do we got behind closed doors? Let's giggity up. Knight of Fire. He is still angry, guys. Knight of Earth. He just wants to get to work. He is using work as an excuse. 9 of Air. This is the 9 of Swords. That's our anxiety and lack of sleep. Queen of Water. Once upon a time. King of Swords there. And in the future, life experience. Interesting. Very interesting. So, what is the private feelings of President Macron, he's furious. Underneath the surface, he is terrified and consumed with this affecting his work, affecting the story of his work, his legacy, all of those things. Once upon a time, things were good. He is trying to cultivate a smoother experience. Get me back to work. I have big decisions that I have to make with that humpback whale, king of swords there. So there's emotion in the past, but there's all logic in the moment and fire. Fire is fighting. What is he doing? He is distracting himself with work from the situation. So privately at the moment, I don't think that he is really engaging, and when he does engage, he is angry, very, very angry. Life experience, the 16th card here. Now, like I said, this particular deck, the Animal Guides Tarot, is a very sweet, it does soften some of the more difficult cards in the tarot. Life experience, what is the 16th card? You may ask. It is the Tower. You can see our lovely little cuckoo bird is sitting on a tower there. So what is the Tower? The Tower is a circumstance that has created chaos, change, disruption. It is cataclysmic. It is something we didn't see coming. Now, there's been plenty of stories about Brigitte Macron. There's been plenty of stories about the Macron's origin of the relationship. I've referenced it many times in this, but again, I'm not going to read on it in this. This is a crusher. This is really opening up those bedroom doors and letting everybody see what's in there. So I think this may be a critical moment in their relationship. How did this incident affect his mindset during the Vietnam trip? Because to be sure, the last thing you want is your spouse wrecking your day when you are headed out the door for work. You may have a big meeting. You may have a sale that you have to close. You may have 27 readings that you have to do in one day. But how did it affect his work and his mindset during the trip? 5 of fire. He was in fight or flight. Well, he wasn't in fight or flight. He was in fight mode. So it did affect his trip. Page of fire. You know what he did? I do think that this is a good thing. I believe he channeled that anger very well. I think he channeled that anger into a more creative kind of energy, which is something we can do. It's called transmutation. I've talked a lot to my students over the last few days about transmutation. Transmutation is taking something bad and turning it into something good. And I think that this is a great example of what he did. He took this situation and used it to be creative and crafty and effective with the meeting with the Vietnamese leadership. So here he underscored, gaining control over his emotions so that he could work and be the emperor. Very nice, right? Very nice. So what else do we have here? Is Macron hiding any emotional burnout or exhaustion from the public? Is he hiding it from us? Or was this just like kind of a flare-up situation? Is it systemic, or was this a flare-up situation that just was a minor bump in the road? One card. Page of air. Let's clarify that with balance. And 7 of fire. And the star. So is he hiding psychological burnout, exhaustion from us? I think he is managing well. We have the balance card here with the zebra. Cute depiction of our Temperance card. So we have the black and white. We need to balance those at all time, good and evil. So I think he is crafting new ways, thinking about new ways that he can exhibit temperance in his life. Intuitively, I'm getting that he can really compartmentalize his private and public life, and this makes the incident that we've all now seen all the more impactful on him. Seven of Wands here again is about balance. It's about a balancing act, trying to keep the passion or anger that he's feeling channeled into good things. So it does reflect what we just saw in the last reading, in the last spread. And ultimately, the star card is here. He has his eye on legacy. He does not want to go into retirement with a very poor legacy. He wants to make sure that he is the best darn president of France that he could be. He's not going to let anything get in his way of that. So I do think that that is very interesting. Will this incident, what effect will this incident have on their public dynamic and image as a couple? How will this affect their image publicly? Eight of Wands, communication, information. Six of Pentacles, Two of Fire, Five of Water, Ace of Fire. So Eight of Fire is communication, truth in communication, getting to see the whole skinny, the revelation of what lies underneath. And it will engender this revelation of truth will inspire. I'm going to use the word inspire. Will inspire some generosity from individuals. I mean, if they do split up, which is curious because we have the Two of Fire and then the Ace of Fire here. We'll get there. This is going two different directions. If they do split up, I think Macron comes out of this, President Macron comes out of this looking better, but it's at the expense of letting people know that he was in a differently balanced relationship than other people. So we're going to find out that it was a bit more power dynamic leaned a bit more toward Brigitte, and that maybe she was wearing the pants a little too much. Two of Fire is making a decision, going in two different directions. Five of Water, we are very sad. We are looking down at some things. Dragonfly is the animal here. Dragonfly is about wisdom and rebirth, changing things over. Ace of Fire is new starts. That's the Ace of Wands. So I'm curious what we're going to see ultimately. I don't think this is coming this summer. I think this summer is going to be very odd and awkward for the two of them. Let's put it that way. Let's talk about Foxy. So we are going to do a medicine card. This is the Fox. And Fox has many allies in the woodlands, including foliage and all kinds of creatures. He does absorb a great deal of magic and medicine from the forest. He is able to vanish under the undergrowth of the forest and use it as part of his cloak and dagger experience. He's able to disappear into the surroundings, and this is a powerful gift because it gets Fox out of the fray while still being able to observe it. Fox's ability to be unseen allows him to be the protector of his family. If danger arises, he can pop out and defend himself. One of the things that is great about Fox is Fox also changes his appearance and fur color according to the season. This is a natural chameleon. And Fox Energy, Fox Medicine will allow you to do that. So if you need to, say, be a tarot reader during the week or during the weekends, and you are an insurance broker during the week, which I formerly was, I used a lot of Fox Energy to adapt to that. I kept my private and personal lives very, very separate, or I should say, private ventures and professional ventures very separate until I was outed on a call with about 10,000 employees. Fox is able to blend into the snow. His medicine is adaptability, cunning, observation, integration, and swiftness of thought and action. Fox is very, very smart. One of the things, one of the Japanese sayings that my husband and I say often is dumb as a fox. And sometimes people can pretend that they are dullards and weak, and really they're calculating behind the scenes. If Fox has chosen to share this medicine with you, if this is resonating with you today, it's a sign that you're able to become the wind. You are unseen and able to wisp in to any situation. You're wise to observe, be very, very quiet, even though foxes make very cool noises, and use the art of camouflage to be able to execute your surveillance of the situation. You may try to visualize your body as being part of the surroundings. Like imagine yourself melting into the surroundings, the colors that are there. You can meditate on this. You can kind of disappear. This gives us a sense of oneness with nature and our surroundings, but it also gives us cloaking. So again, we're not going to read the reversals in these cards for this week, but I think that this is fantastic medicine for anyone that wants to know a little bit more about animal medicine. I think this is great. I think we could all stand for a little healing at any given time. We're changing seasons, and I think that it's really important and valuable for us to tap into some of these animal medicines, especially if you get dive bombed by an eagle or a hawk, or what happened to me, I had a possum run up my foot one day when I came into the house. Very unusual experience. Or if you have a wonderful kitty cat named Cutie Patootie who shows up on your front porch and decides to pick you as her familiar. So animal medicine is all around us. If you like animals, if you want to hear about more animal medicine, let me know. I do think that Sundays are now going to be like a teaching day. It is my gratitude day for all of you that are subscribers and members and clients, but I think we're also going to do a little bit of teaching on that day. So I'll be doing some tarot teaching, some oracle cards, talking about some weird stuff. Maybe I can get my paranormal friends, JT and Sandy, to come on and talk to them a little bit about what they do in their paranormal investigations. So let me know down below what you'd like Teaching Sundays to be like. It'll be a production video. It won't be live. But I think it's really good to fill your cup. You guys fill my cup every day. I want to fill your cup. So thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the future.